Okay. Honorable Sauls is volunteering to start Pangazita.
Yeah, no, the children must go before the elders. How many minutes do I have?
You have 20 minutes or less.
20 minutes or less. Okay.
So what it means that the maximum you can go is 20 minutes. And the least you can do is less than 1 minute.
All right, Chairperson. Honorable Minister, as a young man, I think I should thank you and let you know that I respect especially the field that you are a professional in. And also thank you for your contribution to the struggle, which on the back of which young people like me are sitting here today. So thank you. I'm going to ask some questions just for clarity. Please bear with me. In paragraph 39, you state that you had to call a meeting with the National Commissioner on September the 1st to clarify and affirm your respective roles. Did you call the meeting because you feel that...
Honorable Sauls, yeah. Honorable Skosana wants to say something.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with...
Let's allow him to say what he wants to say.
Oh, okay. No, Chair, I'm just seeing here, they say they can't see him. They are only seeing a beautiful, I don't know who's beautiful, but they are saying Dr. Makundumbane or whatever. They don't see him well. They are asking him to move, maybe here, Chair.
Yeah. Chair, remember we had the same issue the last time. I've decided...
Yeah, what is being said is that you are requested to come and sit here next to the SC, or I can also borrow you the seat from which I'm... Yeah.
No, Chair.
Let me tell you why. You may not see, because you always have a better view from the observation of an outsider. Let me tell you where I'm sitting. There is a big banner just hanging over your head. And you can imagine the shadow that it casts. What is dark becomes darker, and the darker becomes the darkest.
You see, Chair, I appreciate the concern. The last time we had the same issue, and people are saying that I'm ashamed of my blackness.
That's why you must come in front and show them how black you are.
No, I must sit right here.
because
I must sit right here and show them I'm very proud to be a black.
When you sit
a black man.
When you sit at the back, you hide the blackness.
No, they see the blackness. They must only follow the teeth.
And let me tell you where
I'm sitting right here.
Where I come from, they say the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Can you come in front?
No, Chairperson. I'm going to sit here. I'm very proud of my blackness. Unfortunately, South Africans must follow the teeth if they can't see me. But I'm very proud to be as dark as I am. Minister, I don't know how much of the question you got, but in paragraph 39, you state that you had to call a meeting with the National Commissioner on September 1, 2024 to clarify and confirm your respective roles. And then did you call the meeting because you felt that the National Commissioner undermined or disrespected your executive authority as minister?
Thank you, Member. So, if I might be permitted, Chairperson, to say to Member, so I have been watching these proceedings and your forensic skills with much enjoyment and appreciation. As I indicated earlier, I was trying to establish from my appointment what had happened with the PKTT, whether it had been established or disestablished, what the reasons therefore, and if it was disestablished, what had happened with the dockets, because I was concerned about the custody of the dockets. It's a paper-based system, and you know what's being suggested that these dockets are now being transferred wasn't clear into whose office. One theory was that it's in General Sabia's office, and so forth and so forth. So I was trying to find the facts, and I engaged with the National Commissioner. Fairly consistently, it was it was one of the main issues I was trying to get to the bottom of. Then I wrote to him, and that is the letter before you on the 20th of August, in which I said I have discussed this matter with you in 2 meetings. In fact, we had more exchanges on this matter, and I think the Commissioner was trying to explain the decisions that he made because it was complicated. On the one hand, he didn't agree apparently with the decision. But he had to explain to me then, in a sense, he still went ahead and was implementing the decision. But he had advised the minister, given his professional competence and experience, and that I think is important to say, look, if you're going to do this, I don't think you're right, but if you're going to do it in this way. So do it in a phased way, because not all the documents were the same level of investigation. Some had been concluded, some were still ongoing investigations, some were ripe for prosecution and so forth. Oh. So that conversation that happened between the two was an absolutely necessary conversation. But I felt, obviously, by the time I wrote this letter on the 20th, that the National Commissioner had not given me clarity. I really still, at that point, didn't understand, didn't have answers to the questions that I had. Was there a PKTT? What had happened to the dockets? I still didn't know. On the 20th of August, I was appointed, on the 1st of August. So I then decided to write this letter, which is in your pack, to say I now want a proper plan in writing to explain what has happened and what is the way forward. On the very next day, apparently in a spontaneous response to a question put by the media, which can happen, I have been led into making statements in that situation that I've regretted. So he made a statement which said that the dockets had been transferred to KwaZulu-Natal. Now, I had asked him for a report in writing. I hadn't received the report, and here there's a public statement being made. So I couldn't accept that. And I have to say, I have discussed this matter with the National Commissioner. He was not right. It was not right for him to do that.
Did you feel disrespected, Minister?
Not in the sense that I was, thin-skinned or like peaked, but there was an issue of what is the nature of the relationship between the minister and the National Commissioner, and I have to protect the integrity of that relationship. He has rightly to expect that I adhere to a code of conduct with him in our meetings and in public. And in vice versa also applies.
Do you feel that he disrespected you?
I think that he didn't observe the norms in that situation, which are required to support that relationship. So he was wrong to do what he did. And I had to make that clear to him. I had to make it very clear up front in the beginning that I'm the minister. I expect you to engage me as the minister. I will in turn respect you as the national commissioner. Now, it wasn't such a big issue.
All right.
In retrospect, and I think that, as I've said, I think that he might have. It was a misjudgment, and I didn't want to make too much of an issue of it.
All right. You asked him for a report on the status and the details of the task team, and at the time of the 26th of August, you still have not received it. Have you received it now?
Yes, I then received the report. I should have the date, but it was sometime it was sometime after he received this letter. So he then responded both to my letter and my statement, and my public statement. And then we met on the 29th of August. We met I issued my statement on the 29th of August, the day after I was meant to have received it was after I was meant to have received the report, the day after he had made the statement. And then we met as, two adults and discussed the issues. I made it clear what the source of my dissatisfaction was. He had no argument about my reasoning, and then we agreed to issue a joint statement, which was drafted by our two teams. We both checked the statement, and the statement was not only about me and him correcting our relationship. It was about making it clear to the public that we understand our responsibilities to them in this moment, and that we were going to manage our relationship and move forward in a constructive way.
All right.
And I was not going to allow my what did you suggest, that to cloud my judgment and how I responded to the situation.
All right, Minister. Now, given your vast legal background, is it correct for me to assert that you are clear on the constitutional difference between your executive authority and the operational authority of the minister? A yes or no would suffice, Minister.
I'm afraid that's not a yes and no. I can't give you, I think, because I have explained earlier that this is a complex question, and that binary mechanical reasoning, the sort of idea that once you know what an operational decision, all you need to know about this is what definition you have in mind about what's an operational matter and what's a matter for management. The relationship's a complex one, and it depends on the context. And my reading of the Constitution is that it's not susceptible to that kind of mechanical reasoning. But there is a bright line between what the minister's responsibility is and what the accounting officer's responsibility is. It's not,
and you are clear on that line.
I respect that boundary.
But
yes,
you have an authoritative understanding of that boundary.
I do have an understanding
All right.
of it, but it's open to question and interpretation.
But
Precisely-
comparatively, relative to others who were just, your experience in law
Yes.
gives you some sort of authority for us to feel that your understanding and interpretation carries much more weight in terms of that. So we can consider you to have a command of the understanding or the difference between, or that particular boundary, as you put it.
What I would say is that I have paid a lot of attention to this matter for many years. I'm interested in this question, and I have what I think is a reliable view and one that informs the way I will carry out the responsibility. Yes.
So based on that reliable view, as you put it, would you say, Minister, that the actions of Minister Mchunu, as it relates to the directive that is given, is, or rather amounts to political interference?
I can't give you a simple answer to that question because I think the context matters here. I explained earlier that the president is the one who initiated the establishment of this task team. He established an interministerial committee to exercise political oversight. And I have got no doubt that that interministerial committee, so long as it existed, had the final word on the lifespan of that task team. And therefore to suggest in a simplistic way, without reference to that history, that any decision by a minister to, any directive by a minister to disband a task team is per se amounts to interference with an operational matter. Because on the example that I have given, it would not have been. Now, in this case, that committee did not meet. It's not clear that it continued to exist, and he did consult with the ministers that were in those portfolios, and so to that extent, and with all due respect to my predecessor, I think to take that decision without consulting the president, without engaging those ministers, and without reaching an agreement with the national commissioner, at least that's what it appears to be the case, doesn't seem to me to have been the right way to make a decision of such importance.
If you're implying that it was the wrong way to make a decision of such importance, does that amount to you saying that it was political interference?
I would say it was, if on my reasoning, it was an unwise decision, right? So I'm reluctant to reason from the categories these definitions. I don't think, from my point of view, that is very helpful. But of course, there are operational decisions. So, a minister is not an expert. A minister might have knowledge, subject matter knowledge, but a minister is not appointed as minister because they are experts or professionals. They're appointed because they are part of they're part of a representative government. No. That's their role.
Yeah.
Operational decisions are, if you like, to the extent that we understand the purview of an operational decision, clearly falls within the purview of those who have operational responsibility, those who have the expertise and the professional competence to make those decisions.
Yes.
That's the issue. So if a minister thinks they can make decisions which require that kind of expertise, you are bound to make the wrong decisions.
You see, Minister, the difficulty with the response is that our task is to probe and investigate whether or not there was political interference, rather than whether there was a wise decision or not a wise decision.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you again, what you call an unwise decision, does that amount to political interference?
You're going to have to just persevere with me just a little bit longer. If you, what else is of concerning about what you call political interference? I've said, when you hold a public office, you carry out your public duties. You never act with motivated by your private interests. That's your personal interests, your family, your friends, your family, your personal interests, including your political interests. That is what leads to bad decisions. Now, in this case, such allegations are being made, and I think that, in a way, from my point of view, that is the real concern here. And of course, that can lead to improper political interference, because it means that the minister, if that were true, would then be acting not in the public interest, but in their private interest.
Do you think that in this instance, those decisions has led to political interference?
Well, in this instance, there is testimony to that effect. But that testimony, so far as I'm aware, it's mounting certainly, but it's as yet untested. And neither this inquiry committee or the Madlanga Commission have come to conclusions. And that's very important, because I think the exercise we're engaged in here is an exercise aimed at establishing a public record that is beyond dispute, that is legitimate, and can form the basis for our understanding of what needs to be done. Because at the moment, everybody has an opinion, especially everybody on social media. And I'm saying that that's not a basis for us to move forward. We need a public record, having established the facts through a legitimate process. That's why I'm so excited about this process, and as well as the Madlanga Commission.
Okay, so at this point, you are saying basically you cannot say for sure whether it's political interference or not.
I do not want to be put in a position. I think the committee has to come to a conclusion on that matter. I have said what I feel I can say and should say. There is something for me I find myself would be in a deeply compromised position if I have to use this process to criticize the previous incumbent. He's already facing a difficult position, and I don't want to comment on. I said to the evidence leader that I haven't come here to throw anybody under the bus. It's not my responsibility to critique my predecessor, but I believe that I can talk objectively and in a principled way about the issues that arise from the testimony that has been led so far.
In paragraph 43, you call...
That will be your last question, Honorable Saul.
Minister, now I have to choose which question I'm going to now use as the last one. Okay, let me use this one. In paragraph 43, you call Minister Mchunu your predecessor. And also when you said that the president called you to tell you about the appointment, the president said, I want you to be the Minister of Police. He didn't say the acting Minister of Police. So, notwithstanding the literal definition of the word predecessor, but I want to probe your cognitive disposition of its use. You calling him your predecessor, should that be interpreted to mean that you have psychologically accepted that he's no longer the minister on leave? You have now replaced him.
Not quite. I am the minister. No? Let me explain. There's no provision in the Constitution. There's no appellation. There's no label of that kind. Minister, the president, you either exercise executive authority or you don't. So, in that sense, I am the minister. Yeah? Now, the president will decide whether I serve for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, or longer. And of course, this is also subject to my levels of energy and tolerance. But I've committed to serving as long as he feels that I should. And he retains all options to prolong my appointment, to reappoint Senzo Mchunu if he's exonerated, for instance, to appoint anyone else, because who's to say that I will retain his confidence in this difficult time as in the months ahead. It's going to depend. A lot will depend on whether I appear to be able to carry out the responsibility that I must shoulder. He might feel that someone else is more suited to the task, and when that happens, I will walk into the. I will walk away happy that I've served to the best of my ability. Simple as that.
Chairperson, with your indulgence, I have a follow-up to that, saying that my time is up. It's on the same statement. May I do a follow-up on the same response, seeing that my time is up? I can't ask. It's not another question. It is a follow-up on.
You will have to oblige like a parolee if I grant you the permission.
I'm very slow, Chair. I don't understand.
A parolee never violates conditions, so.
My president was in prison.
It's less than 1 minute. Can you please not violate conditions that I give?
Yes, sir. Thanks for explaining. So, Minister, you are saying you are the minister. So your use of predecessor is intentional. Does this mean that for South Africa and myself as a layman to understand, does this mean that as we sit here today, Honorable Senzo Mchunu is no longer the Minister of the South African Police Service?
Yes, I think as a legal matter, that's correct. He is a minister. But he doesn't have executive authority in the South African Police Service. I do. And that power is always a monopoly power. It's exercised, like I said earlier, it can't be delegated. I am the minister. The president has described me as the acting minister. That's fine. All of you can continue to call me the acting minister. I know that Honorable Skosana enjoys calling me the acting minister, which I accept with much appreciation. Whatever you call me is fine. Whether you call me the acting minister or the minister, but I'm saying, just to clarify the constitutional matter, read the Constitution. There's no provision in the so I was appointed in terms of a provision of the Constitution to exercise executive authority in this ministry. That's what I'm doing. And the president can change his mind tomorrow, as he can with any other minister that is appointed.
Can I take Honorable Nomvalo and then Honorable Skosana?
Yeah, no, thanks. I don't know if I was following the minister correctly. Minister, may you confirm this for me, please? So according to you, the only missing aspect on the decision of the minister, the suspended minister, is consultation. So had he consulted, then you were going to be satisfied with the decision that he took.
No, but let's understand the question of consultation. The issue is consultation with whom, and for what purpose. So the consultation is part of a process of rational decision making. You need you can't act, in my view, to make this. You don't go to bed, have an intuition, a strong intuition, and act on that. I'm not saying Minister Mchunu did that, right? But he did make a decision on the 31st of December to say, I want you to disband this structure immediately. Now, I'm not sure if the Interministerial Committee didn't meet, was still in existence. But for instance, were there views of the Minister of Justice not relevant to this, because it's that ministry that deploys the prosecutors who are part of the team. It wasn't just made up of SAPS of employees. If it was an integrated approach aimed at combining investigations and prosecutions, then surely the others who were involved in making the decision, in supervising the decision, their views should have informed your reasoning process. That's the issue, so not just consultation. And of course, had there been had that committee still existed, and had there been that process of consultation, then I would say emphatically and clearly that the decision would not have been an improper one.
Okay, because what I want to get here is, after that consultation has been made, then who has the right to take the decision and to sign the letter? Because here I'm talking about an action that took place on the 31st. Let's say that that action was preceded by the consultation that you are talking about. Then who has the right to take a decision that, okay, upon satisfying myself that I've consulted everybody, I am taking a decision to disband, I am signing, I am issuing out the letter. Who has a responsibility to do so?
So let's be clear on the example that I understand you're putting to me. The Interministerial Committee has met. Often in these interministerial committees, the DGs would be sitting there. By the way, these interministerial committees are not just the structure of decision making doesn't only involve the ministers. The DGs would also meet, the heads of the respective departments. So in this gang violence strategy that we developed, the DGs met. The strategy was developed. First, we met with the Department of Justice. We developed a strategy. We went back. The DGs then met, and that strategy was then taken forward by the ministers. Now, this gang violence initiative that we have taken, we can put an end to it, no doubt about it. And the minister, following such a meeting, can issue a directive informing the commissioner that this decision has been made and it has to be implemented. No doubt about it. So that's why I'm saying, with respect Member Shongwe, that
Honorable Nomvalo.
sorry, no,
Nomvalo, yes.
I'm trying to learn all your names quickly because that's very important. On those facts would change the nature of the decision, and therefore change perhaps the legal characterization of the decision as an unlawful one, which which I've said. How much does it help one to make a judgment like that? I am saying that on the facts available, as far as I can assess, the decision should not have been made in that way. And if it wasn't to be made in that way, then the decision shouldn't have been made.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out acting minister once again, because if I remember well,
You call me acting.
we challenged your matter,
Yes.
and the Constitutional Court
And you lost.
as well referred us back to the High Court. You remain an acting minister of police as we speak here. But if that's not true, then it means this country is in a crisis. Because we said that. Anyway, we are in a crisis. We are having the minister, Senzo Mchunu, who came here in as a minister as well, on leave. Now, if you say you are a minister, it means, like we said, that we had almost 4 ministers, 2 deputy and 2 ministers. I guess we are vindicated. We were right. I think we were right. Today you vindicated us to say you are not, you said yourself that we are not an acting police minister. You've got executive authority, which we agree, and the one sitting at home on special leave, Minister Mchunu, I guess is no longer a minister.
No, that's not correct.
Is he a minister?
Yes.
So we've got 2 ministers in one portfolio.
No, he's just not the Minister of Police.
Oh, he's not the minister of police. Let me leave it there. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the last, okay, Honorable Matthias.
I've been recognized. Thank you. Just clarity, I'm going to call you Prof now because I'm confused about this acting minister. So essentially you're saying that we have a minister without a ministry, which is the former Minister of Police. In your understanding, is that constitutional?
Look, the honourable member from the MKP, I know that they are litigating this matter. I'm quite happy that they're doing so. The court will come to a decision, and I think it's not right for me to take a view on what decision the court should make. I have a view, and you can infer the view from what I've said. So the members of the MKP and yourselves, by the way, are quite, you're free to challenge my appointment by making constitutional arguments. And we will see if the court agrees with any of the arguments that have been made. I can't really be of any further assistance on that matter because I'm the subject of that litigation.
Okay, so you don't want to make a comment about whether you think it's constitutional or not. And then just one more is, did you engage President Ramaphosa when he said you are an acting minister? Because that's what he's told us. And did you share your views personally, not forcing him to, but did you engage him?
No, I didn't think it was too material. I'm happy to be described as an acting minister by the President and by members Kosana. There's no problem.
Honorable Sangod.
Minister, in your knowledge, is this the first time that South Africa has had a minister without a portfolio?
No, it's definitely not the case.
Well, Pangazita, is now your time.
No, I just want to get what the acting minister is saying correctly. I don't want to write what he has not said. Minister, so you are saying Minister Senzo is a minister without a portfolio, not a suspended minister of police.
I am saying that you can have one minister of education.
Yes.
You can have one minister for foreign affairs. You might, if the president decides to divide the portfolios, to reorganize portfolios, then you can certainly have two ministers in a ministry that used to be a single ministry. That happens all the time. Government is reorganized after an election because priorities have changed. There may be other reasons. Constitutionally, only one person can exercise executive authority. That's why the deputy ministers also, in all portfolios, don't exercise executive authority.
Yes.
But you can have a minister, a person who has the rank of a minister.
So what I want to get, Minister. So Minister Senzo is minister of what currently? Minister without a portfolio or a suspended minister of police?
He's a suspended minister, he can't exercise.
So he's not a minister.
If Minister Mchunu walked into the department, could he issue directives to the National Commissioner? Could he become involved in any decision within the department? No.
Yes, because my understanding is that a minister without a portfolio is appointed as such. That to say we're appointing a minister without a portfolio. This did not happen by appointment. It happened through an incident.
Yes.
That there was a suspension. So I wanted to get that distinction because you really confused me when you said he is a minister without portfolio.
I did not actually say that. I just said he's no longer the Minister of Police. That's what I said.
So he is a suspended minister.
He doesn't exercise executive authority with respect to this function.
Yes, because he is suspended.
Yes.
So he is a suspended minister of police.
Yes, you can describe him that way. But that means that he can't exercise executive authority with respect to the department in a little bit or in a big part. That he no longer has the authority to exercise that authority. And I'm making those observations just as a matter of constitutional reasoning. The practical effect of this is zero. So why this matter should be so interesting is in itself interesting. He is there. He doesn't interfere with what I've got to do. He doesn't issue directives to the National Commissioner. We are waiting for the issues that concern him to be resolved through this process and the process before the Madlanga Commission. And then the President will decide. And then the President is free to make any decision that he wishes.
I think I'm satisfied now, Chair.
Honorable Sauls.
Yeah, Chair, maybe I should help by making an analogy. I just want to say to the Minister that as the one who posed the question, I fully get you. But you must understand that it takes something unique to appreciate it. Maybe I should make an analogy with the fact that I'm the darkest in the room. Yeah, I'm the blackest in the room. The blackest in the room. But the apartheid government on my father's pass, they wrote colored. Because it's Swartste Boesmani. I'm a biological prototype of racial integration. You can be all in one. So it takes some uniqueness to understand that a minister. So I get it. I get it. Ek is swart en colored and African, you know.
Honorable members, can we move? Honorable James.
Just a clarity-seeking question again, Minister, Acting Minister. Are you saying that this is not the first time where South Africans are paying the salaries of ministers with no executive authority? There's been previous, just maybe one or two examples, please, Minister.
Appointment of ministers without portfolio is a well-established practice in all comparable jurisdictions. It happens for many good reasons of state. Often it's the case that the leader of government business is not doesn't have ministerial responsibility with respect to a portfolio. Sometimes there are also situations in some jurisdictions they can appoint what they call a minister for, I know in India they do that. It was quite a surprise to me. They have a minister for law, and that minister then advises on the quality of legislation, the legality of legislation, make sure that legislation is properly drafted and so forth. Your leader of government business may have ministerial rank but not have a portfolio, because the responsibility of the leader of government business as a minister is to liaise between the cabinet and parliament to ensure that the parliamentary program and the cabinet program are coordinated, liaise with chief whips, liaise with the presiding officer and the president and so forth. It's a vitally important position. In our case, we have got a deputy president who's the leader of government business. But he doesn't have a ministerial portfolio. He's the deputy president. So for reasons of state, you know, the president might appoint a minister without portfolio to focus in a particular area. Let's say there's an individual in parliament who has a particular expertise in the area of finance, or let's say AI is maybe a better example, the whole field of technology. It's not a portfolio issue, but the president wants a minister, someone in the cabinet, someone close to the president who can who can develop projects, do policy work, advise the president and the cabinet and so forth on an area that isn't covered by any of the portfolios. So there is a case for a minister without portfolio, but I don't want to go there maybe, but I think that the reasons why he's made the decisions he has made with respect to the previous incumbent was not for those reasons. He had other reasons for retaining him at the rank of a minister, and but withdrawing the executive authority from the minister. And you know, I would just say this to all of you, because you really might end up in a government one day with ministerial responsibility and so forth, and at that point you will come to appreciate the importance of reasons of state, of statecraft, setting up a government, allocating portfolios and in a government that can work. There are many considerations that a president has to take into account, or a prime minister where you don't have a president, and the president, I believe, has to have the freedom, the discretion to take all those considerations into account into making a government, appointing a cabinet that can work, and that might include appointing ministers without portfolio.